My name is Ray Leon. I'm the managing principal at Osation. Osation is my solopreneur endeavor where I help clients build, grow, and evolve their professional service businesses. I got my start at Accenture as a consultant helping to build professional services businesses for their clients. After that time, I went and started Osation in 2016, where I've been leveraging the lessons I learned to help other people build, grow, and evolve their professional services businesses. I think the market for operations and process improvement consulting is actually growing. As customer experience continues to drive businesses online, the need for predictable, repeatable outcomes is the core of what operations and process improvement is all about. So as long as people are still interested in a great user experience and a great customer experience overall, I think the market will continue to be plentiful for this type of business. The number one benefit I think that a consultant brings to an operations and process improvement engagement is really a framework based on their experience, their knowledge in a particular area of expertise or an industry, and a framework of how to bring about an effective change relative to an improvement around a process. It's not so much just building out a Word document or a Visio flowchart. It's really about understanding end to end what the outcome of that experience is supposed to be, what that process should be delivering, and being able to guide and advise a customer on how to effectively deliver that outcome. When a client is looking to bring in a consultant for operations and process improvement, I think they really need to start at the beginning. If they've already established the strategy, at the very least they need to explain that strategy and vet it with the consultant. But if you can have the consultant engaged from the very beginning, they should be able to provide some insight on what could or might not work relative to that strategy. And then you don't have to play the telephone game either, right? So an interpretation after an interpretation of what that strategy is supposed to deliver can get lost, obviously, and the final product could simply be ineffective in delivering that outcome. I think the key skills that a consultant needs to bring to an operations and process improvement engagement is first and foremost objectivity. It's important to understand objectively what the outcome the customer is looking for, objectively look at what they have in terms of capabilities and existing processes, and then bring subject matter expertise to guide and advise on how to move from where they are and what they want to do to where they need to be to deliver those outcomes. So objectivity is the first and foremost. Sometimes consultants want to try to impact their perspective too much as opposed to their process by which they solve the problem relative to improving a process or an operations challenge. My experience with client challenges relative to operations and process mapping engagements is really around understanding the full breadth of scope, right? There's typically something that is upstream that initiates a process. There's something downstream to a process. There's multiple handoffs across organizations sometimes. So if you don't really have all of the stakeholders as identified participants to be effective, you can find yourself working in a very limited environment and may not deliver most of what the customer is looking for relative to outcomes. Sure, you can map it, sure, you can document it, but again, the outcomes are really what you want to be driving for, and that can be difficult if not all of the stakeholders are active participants in the exercise. Given that I focus on professional service businesses, some of the process mapping efforts that I've worked on come right from the beginning of a pursuit, right? Think of go-to-market strategy, right? What should our marketing campaigns look like, right? Email versus snail mail, social media, right? What are those processes? There's a cadence to that go-to-market. There's a cadence to sales pursuits. There's a cadence to delivering service engagements. So those are the types of things that I get involved with. to help clients from a process mapping perspective, making sure that you have repeatable, predictable outcomes in each of those different areas that fill the funnel, that drain the funnel relative to professional service businesses.